Good afternoon. So the Kutapi Strong acknowledges that we occupy the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. We recognize that the Ramaytush Ohlone understand the interconnectedness of all things and have maintained harmony with nature for millennia. We honor the Ramaytush Ohlone people for their enduring commitment to Mother Earth. As the indigenous protectors of this land and in accordance with their traditions, the Ramaytush Ohlone have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as the caretakers of this place, as well as for the peoples who reside in their traditional territory. We recognize that we benefit from living and working on their traditional homeland. As uninvited guests, we affirm their sovereign rights as First Peoples and wish to pay our respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community. We recognize to respectfully honor Ramaytush peoples, we must embrace and collaborate meaningfully to record indigenous knowledge and how we care for San Francisco and all its people. Thank you.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Wow, you know what? Look at all of you. Fierce, WinFam, fabulous and fearlessly queer, transgender, Asian American, Native Hawaiian Pacific Islanders. I want to start by thanking each and every one of you for showing up today, not just physically, but fully. With your hearts, your stories, your journeys, your voices, and your presence. My name is Kiki Lopez, also known as Mix Kiki Crunch. I am a proud immigrant, a trans woman of color, a drag performer, and an activist. I've worn many hats, wigs, heels, but today I'm standing here with my whole truth. And let me tell you, we are not just surviving, we are thriving. Loudly, unapologetically, and in community. All because San Francisco embraced and nurtured a person like me. Today marks the inaugural Kutapi Strong, a march for resilience, justice, and belonging. We are making history together on these steps in this city that we call home, even when it hasn't always made space for us. Resilience is in our bones, in our genes. We carry generations of survival in our bloodlines, from the islands, the rice fields, the mountains, the city streets, all the way here to San Francisco. We face exclusion, displacement, violence, and still we shine. We shine bright. Our resilience is not just about enduring pain, but about choosing joy, choosing each other, and choosing tomorrow over and over again. Justice is not a word. It's not just a word on a sign. It's in how we show up for one another. Isn't that right? There we go. It's in demanding housing, healthcare, and safety for our elders and our youth, especially the transgender and then the queer folks. It's in fighting for the undocumented folks, for sex workers, for our Black and brown siblings, and for every trans person who's ever been told their life didn't matter. Justice looks like this moment when our voices ring louder than the silence that once kept us small. And finally, belonging. We are not asking to be tolerated. We are not asking to be included at someone else's table. We are building our own tables. Let me repeat that. We are building our own tables full of laughter, full of culture, full of umami, and definitely queer and transgender magic. Belonging means we get to exist in public, in power, and in peace. I want you to look around. This is what community looks like. This is what love looks like. This is what Kutapi Strong looks like. So as we come together, as we march together today, may we carry our ancestors in our hearts, our trans siblings on our backs, and our dreams in our eyes. Let us march with pride, let us march with purpose. And let us remind San Francisco and the world and the universe that we are here, we are powerful, and we are Kitapi strong. Thank you, everyone. And now it is an honor and privilege to have the Mayor of San Francisco with us. Everyone, please welcome Mayor Daniel Lurie.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here today, standing with our queer and transgender Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander communities. Regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity, we are all San Franciscans. That is what our city is all about, and that is what I will continue to protect as your mayor. Kitapi San Franciscans are at the heart of what makes our city vibrant. You've built spaces for belonging, like at the Lotus Project, shown resilience in the face of injustice with Stop the Hate, and added your voices to the fight for equality by establishing the GLBTQ+ Asian and Pacific Islander Alliance. From the Rice Rockets to the GAPA Chorus, and with leaders like Cecilia Chung, Tila Aida, and Lance Toma, the Kitapi community has shaped the character of San Francisco. Today, we recognize the trailblazers who formed the Kitapi Coalition, along with organizations like the San Francisco Community Health Center, the Office of Transgender Initiatives, and the Transgender March Association. Thank you. And San Francisco, we also know that we are known all over the world as a place where people are allowed to love who they want to love and be who they want to be. A place where people seek safe harbor, and we must continue that legacy forward. So I am proud to proclaim May 27th, 2025, Kitapi Day in the city and county of San Francisco. Come on in here, supervisors. Come on.
Give it up one more time for our mayor, Mayor Daniel Lurie. Our next speaker is a proud daughter of Chinatown. She was in community with us last Chinatown Pride Parade last Saturday. Give it up for Edge on the Square and Chinese Culture Center for organizing the first in-person Chinatown Pride Parade. And now everyone, I welcome to the stage Supervisor Connie Chan.
Thank you, Kiki. It was so good to be with all of you, and some of you actually, but it's good to see all of you here today. But it was so good to be with some of you last Saturday at the Chinatown Parade. It was wonderful. It was a lot of joy, and that it's so good to see today that we continue with that pride and joy with the remaining of the week of May. I want to say this, and I already said this on Saturday, that you are beautiful and you are loved. And this is the city that not only that where you belong, you are celebrated. Kitapi was just amazing. And I just also wanted to acknowledge our board president, President Mandelman, who is really someone that I really enjoy working with and being a great colleague, and to oftentimes to help me be a better ally. And so I will actually say thank you for President Mandelman. I know we're a little distracted, but nothing should be able to stop us from celebrating Kitapi. Thank you.
All right, there you go.
Happy Kitapi Week, everybody. I am Raphael Mandelman. I am your gay supervisor from District 8. Hello, Roma. And also your gay president of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. And it is a delight to be able to serve with Supervisor Connie Chan, who is the best of allies for the queer community. And I think I said at the Board of Supervisors this week when we, or 2 weeks, whenever we did our resolution for QTOPI Week this year, that one of the things I love, and this is part of the genius of Juicy Lou, is that QTOPI Week falls right in the last week of APA Heritage Month, in the week right before the beginning of Pride. And it is such a beautiful thing that these two diverse communities in San Francisco are brought together by this week. I do want to say a word about Michael, who along with others had the stream going back to 2019, and with the formation of the coalition, and then was agitating, and through the darkest, most horrible days of the pandemic, as API people were being assaulted in the streets in San Francisco and so many other places, Michael Juicy decided that we were going to have some joy in San Francisco, and we were going to have some queer trans API love and a whole week to celebrate that intersectionality. And we have been proud, honored, whatever word you want to say, to partner with Michael Juicy and the coalition ever since. And this year seems to me to be like the biggest, baddest, amazing. So wonderful to have this rally and march. Wonderful to see QTOPI Week taking off in communities across the country. And wonderful to be able to celebrate amazing folks like Cecilia Chung, who is a friend, a glass ceiling shatterer, someone who has been leading in our community in the darkest times, and we find ourselves again in some pretty dark times. And Cecilia, we love you to pieces. And Lance, are you Cecilia's boss? She's my boss. All right, Cecilia, Lance's boss. But Lance, the CHC, thank you so much for all you do for our trans communities, for all of our queer communities, for the Tenderloin, for the Castro, for all of San Francisco. Thank you for helping lead the fight to defend San Francisco values. Thank you to our wonderful city attorney and your team for the work that you are doing, fighting to protect us in these dark times. And thank you to the organizers of the rally and march. I brought certificates for those folks who I'll just name. I'm not going to read the whole certificates, but for Jason Ogao and Nico Storment and Cherry Javier and Roland Mendoza and Lana Patel and Rosa Redwoods and Mix Kiki Crunch. We have a little token of recognition on behalf of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors for all the great work that you all did to make this amazing event happen. Happy QTOPI Week, everybody.
Give it up one more time for Board of Supervisors President Rafael Mandelman. Before we move on, I just want to acknowledge our community partners who are here. I see folks from Asian Health Services, from Flux SF, from Parivar, and LGBT Asylum Project. They're here. My co-workers from San Francisco Community Health Center. We have the icon, Sister Roma, here. We also have WinFam, API icon, and also our friends from San Francisco AIDS Foundation are also here. So thank you so much for joining us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call on Lance Toma, the CEO of San Francisco Community Health Center, to share some few words.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you so much, Ms. Kiki Crunch. Hello, everyone. It feels so good to be here with all of you to celebrate QTOPI Week here in San Francisco. I'm Lance Toma. I'm very proud to be the CEO of San Francisco Community Health Center, and I'm even prouder to be a queer API. As we face the ongoing assaults, the attacks on DEI and gender ideology, we must stand strong. And our QTOPI community is as strong as we are because of the incredible diversity and history of our queer trans API community here in the Bay Area. As you all know, many of you know, San Francisco Community Health Center was formerly known as Asian and Pacific Islander Wellness Center. We were founded by the API queer community in the 80s when HIV was ravaging our community and nothing was being done about it. What we were told then was that Asians didn't get HIV. When we knew full well that our siblings, and particularly our queer siblings, were suffering and dying. There was no data to back us up, and we were categorized as other. And then we fought back. We fought back to be recognized. We fought to receive the services and resources that we deserved. And our queer API community created organizations and institutions to ensure that our QTAPI community would never be left behind, ever again. Asian AIDS Project, GAPA, Living Well Project, Filipino Task Force on AIDS, these organizations are part of the DNA of San Francisco Community Health Center. Our Joy Luck Club, our support program for APIs living with HIV, ATE, our support group for API trans folks, our Lotus Project, Stop the Hate program, all of these programs continue today at San Francisco Community Health Center. We're also proud to have established the API stage at San Francisco Pride in 2000. And in 2005, we were the organization to establish May 19th as the National API HIV Awareness Day across our country. We've always existed, as President Mandelman said, at the intersection of celebrating our API heritage in May and our queerness in June. And now, standing on the shoulders of countless queer API elders, activists, organizers who, living unapologetically and fighting relentlessly, paved the way for this very important moment, QTAPI Week acknowledges the strength, beauty, and resilience that exists at this intersection and in the space and time between May and June. I want to thank Michael, Nguyen, Juicy Liu for your vision in establishing the QTAPI Coalition of the Bay Area, and in the wake of the violence that were hitting our communities, you helped to organize the LGBTQ+ Solidarity March for API Lives in 2021. Honey Mahogany, Cecilia Chung, myself, Michael, we were all there speaking right here in front of our dear City Hall, because this is what we do when our communities are under attack. We show up, we come together, and we fight back. And I want to say in moments like this, what we get to do is also celebrate. And it's more than fabulous that we're honoring some of the icons in our community, Michael and Cecilia, even our own Tita Ida. And really this QTAPI week, we celebrate our resilience and our fight for continued justice and belonging. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Lance Toma. We are deeply honored and also grateful that our city attorney, David Chu, is here with us. And let us all welcome Attorney David Chu to give us a few words.
Good afternoon. I wasn't actually expecting to speak today.
Sorry, David.
But it was important for me to stand strong with community because of who we all are, who everyone is. 21 years ago, I joined a couple of activists from this community to form API Quality. And I think none of us would have expected 21 years ago all the incredibly positive things that have happened to our API queer communities over that time. But I also think at this moment, none of us could have expected where we are. When our Asian communities have experienced so much anti-Asian hate in recent years, when our LGBT communities are under assault by this so-called president, and when our QTAPI communities are experiencing the assault doubly. And I just want you to know, as your city attorney, our office stands strong with you. We will continue to fight with you, and someday the darkness that is in our country at this moment will lift, and we will continue to celebrate our QTAPI communities. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, City Attorney David Chu. And now before we move on to recognizing our honorees today, I'd also like to recognize the folks from GLBTQ Asian Pacific Alliance who are with us here today. I'm sitting as one of the board members of GAPA this year, and GAPA has always been has always existed to uplift the queer and trans API community. So thank you so much, GAPA. And may I call on our community liaison to the mayor's office, Moises Garcia, to help us read the certificate of honors for our honorees before we have our honorees speak tonight. Give it up for Moises, everyone.
Thank you, Kiki. On behalf of Mayor Lurie, I would like to recognize Michael Nguyen. Cecilia Chung. And Tita Ida, who couldn't be here.
Lance will hold it.
Okay. I'm just standing in.
Very special. Can you move forward, please? Can you join us? Thank you so much, Moises Garcia. Also, I would like to recognize the drag houses who are here, the queer and trans API drag houses who are here. Give it up for the oldest one, Rice Raquettes. I like saying that, the oldest drag house here, Rice Raquettes. We also have the members of the Philippines. We have the Masala Mahals, our South Asian divas, and my drag house, the Mabuhay Bitches. Am I allowed to say that? Okay. Already said it. Now, let us all welcome the founder of Queer and Trans API Coalition, the very hardworking community organizer, Michael Nguyen.
Keep it going for Kiki. Oh my goodness. Hello everybody, my name is Michael Nguyen. I also go by Juicy Lou. And yeah, I'm here to recruit you. I don't care. I don't care about it. So I'm gonna tell 3 stories because they told me only 5 minutes, so sorry. I'm gonna talk about the power of pageantry, the power of intergenerational organizing, and the power of mobilizing to educate and advocate. And can I tell you, it all started with a pageant. It all started with this drag pageant called GAPA Runway. I am Miss GAPA 2016, and Roma was there, and wasn't I the most fabulous on stage? Thank you. I literally walked off that stage, I was crowned, and then the next day I went to a backyard barbecue for with the aunties, the Asian aunties, and they literally asked me, like, so Juicy, now that you represent all the Gaysians, can you tell me why Gaysians aren't more involved in the movement? And I was like, I'm here for the lumpia, I didn't know. Oh my gosh, so much pressure, so much power. But you know, to get power, you actually have to keep asking for help. You have to learn to just keep asking and pulling people in and bringing people, because that community support is when you, as your most authentic self, can show up and shine through, as Kiki said. You know, this QTAPI coalition started with a queer Lunar New Year celebration in 2017. When I was Miss GAPA, I was like, well, there's no queer Lunar New Year. We should have one. Let's have one at the Strut because it's brand new, and let's take it over. And we took over that building, the 3rd floor of it, made a makeshift stage, had some lights going. We had organizing. I didn't know what I was doing. I had never thrown a drag show in my life. But then, because of community, because of the Rice Rockettes, honestly, like Chrissy Yamikuchi, who was my co-founder in this venture of QTAPI Coalition, we made it happen, and you never know. I just kept asking for help, and we called it Enter the Rooster, because enter the C word was not good on a poster or something. And then let's talk about intergenerational organizing. We, at the QTAPI Coalition, really just started, again, with a drag show kind of mindset, a showcase of all our talents. But the next year, in 2018, we were like, let's just keep on this theme of queer Lunar New Year, like punny names. So we called it New Year, New Tricks for the Year of the Dog. And that was with GAPA and GAPA Foundation, which is now Prism Foundation. And then we had a beautiful show. It was gorgeous at the Oasis. 2019, we went When Pigs Fly Over the Moon, which is a ridiculous name, at the Salesforce Tower. Again, brand new in 2019. We took over the top floor. Over 700 attendees came through. We had expanded at that point and officially became a coalition. We're like, I guess we're going to keep doing this. And we're going to have a resource fair. We had drag performance, we had chorus. Everybody in our community just kind of showed up and talked about stuff. It was a little unwieldy, but super fun. Then 2020 came, Leaping Rat, Hidden Histories, right before the pandemic. It was one of the last pandemic. It was on the leap year, the leap day of the leap year, right? February, end of February, and it was right before the pandemic, and we were just in community at this beautiful Origin nightclub space, but we turned it into kind of an organizing space. And then we went in 2021 into the pandemic, Ox Talks, because it's the year of the ox. And it was virtual, and that's when Crystal Jang, who was probably one of the aunties that asked me that question, she mentioned doing something about this rising violence against the elders in our AAPI community, and what should we do? And I was like, okay, we should probably think. And then later that year, in March, I remember very clearly, the horrible murders in Atlanta happened, and that's when Lance was talking about this from Castro to Chinatown, an LGBTQ plus march for Asian lives, and that was really the first direct action that kind of mobilized our community, right? And we had I don't know, anybody was there? Anybody? No? Don't remember. Yeah, you were there. Randy was there. Randy was there. It was great. It was a great moment, but also kind of just really sad, and also unifying and finding joy in the sadness. That's what I learned from that moment. 2022, we did a Cute Happy Week. We did a Cute Happy Week for the first time that year. Actually, it just kept building and building. I could go through all on and on and on and on, but it really just. It's when you organize and mobilize, educate, and advocate. And I borrow that line from Kamala Harris, who spoke that line at the NAACP earlier this year when she won her award. But I say steal it, just go for it. Say it with me, organize, mobilize, educate, advocate. Mobilize, educate, advocate. Yeah, that's what we have to do as organizers now. We are all organizers now, because if you can throw a party, you can organize a movement. That's what I say. And if you have the power, like Nancy Pelosi says, don't agonize, organize. Like Cecilia Chung reminded me at the protest march, you have to find the power of cross-movement solidarity. Like Amy Tsuyoshi said, we have to breathe fire. Our history breathed fire into our movement. And so building this coalition, to me, it's been an art form that's really messy. Honestly, it's very messy, and it's not a science. And if anybody here wants to be an organizer, raise your hand, because we need you now in this moment. It requires the same skill of finding a vision of your intended outcomes, a willingness to embrace the uncertainty of it all, just hoping everything, having hope, and won't be silent about that hope, and choosing joy in this organizing. So I'm gonna close by saying, from pageantry to protest, it's our time now to recognize our power. And you too can be part of this movement. I invite you, we just started a website because that's how grassroots we are, we're just 5 years later, qtapisf.org for more information, but now is the time to harness your personal power and turn it into something, how you contribute, find your time, your talent, your treasure, all is needed in this moment. Thank you so much, Kiki, for organizing this event. Thank you for all these electeds that are behind it and supporting, because they have all supported us in the many years here, and we hope for many years to come. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Michael. We love Michael. Give it up for Juicy Lou. We love her even more for keeping her speech under 5 minutes. Thank you so much. And now it is my greatest honor to welcome to the stage one of the icons of the trans API community here in San Francisco, Cecilia Chung.
Thank you, Kiki, and hello, everyone. It's really, really nice to see some faces here that I have not seen in quite a while. But I wish we come in a time that's less challenging and more celebratory. But that day will come too, I'm sure. I'm here today really reflecting on how grateful I am to be such a strong movement here in San Francisco. It didn't just start in the 2000s. It didn't just start in it started last decade, but it started long before we actually have many of the organizations that Michael mentioned earlier. We started with the Compton's riot, not far from here on Turk and Taylor. And it was where queer and trans people stood up to oppressions and really to make a statement to say that we're not going to stand for this anymore. And that has been the tradition of the city since then, that every group that had since experienced any kind of injustice organized, mobilized, and showed up and speak out. And and this is where we also have seen like a lot of the rallying against HIV and really rallying for treatment of HIV, and we became one of the first cities that had all these like breakthroughs and pioneering on like medical treatment for people living with HIV. We don't stop there. We continue, and in the 1990s, not far from here, it used to be called the Tom Waddell Health Center in a little alley right next to 101 Grove. That's where transgender care was started. So I am really grateful to be able to be part of all these history and also be part of the movement itself. In 1995, that's also when we have the Board of Supervisors passing ordinances, to protect transgender rights and become one of the first cities who did that. And of course, some of these legislators moved on to California, and of course they brought what they've learned and what they've heard to the California State Assembly and California Senate, and they passed protection for us there. It's really one of the first in the nation, California, to actually pass rights to protect trans and LGBT people from employment and housing discriminations. So we're making history, and I'm really confident that we will continue to make history. I was lucky to be one of the founders for Trans March in 2004, and it's really amazing to see how it had grown and how many leaders came out from that. And I'm sure that we're going to continue to see more leaders emerging, from the community to like fight for what is right and really fight for everyone, not just for Asians, not just for queer, transgender, bisexual, and gay people, but for everyone, for women, for the Black community, and for the immigrant community. We are all going to stand together. We did that before, and we will do that again, because that's what we need to do. And we will be like enjoying life while we're doing it. Because no matter how hard it seems, the challenges are in front of us, we're not going to let them win. We're not allowing them to take away our joy. And, and we will continue to be visionaries. We're going to be trendsetter. We'll continue to be creators, and we are continuing to be fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cecilia Chang. I also want to recognize our sisters from EA para Trans Latinas. Hola, sisters. Thank you so much for being here. I see some folks from Lyric as well, SFLGBT Center, and also from the Liberation Center. So once again, give it up for our honorees, Cecilia Chang, Michael Wynn, and Tita Aida. Tita Aida is waiting for us at Trans Tribe for the town hall meeting. And give it up for one more time for Lance Toma, the CEO of San Francisco Community Health Center. Our city attorney, David Chu, thank you so much. Our supervisors, Board of Supervisors President, Rafael Mandelman. Supervisor Connie Chan. And the representative of Mayor Moises Garcia, thank you so much. Now I'm bringing to the stage my good sister, Mar XOXO, to help us learn the chants as we prepare for the march. Are you ready? Yeah. Give it up for Mar!
Hey, 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 hey! Thank you all so much for coming out to support the QTOPI community. We have a big march coming up from Oh, yeah, this is gonna be mine. When we walk, we're gonna have a big march coming all the way to the Trans Drive, and I'm gonna rehearse some with y'all. Yeah, thank you. So, repeat after me, please. When trans people are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When healthcare is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided. Justice for Banco Brown. Justice for Banco Brown. Justice for Banco Brown. Justice for Banco Brown. Love has no borders. Love has no borders. Stop the ICE deporters. Stop the ICE deporters. Dump Trump, you can't hide. Dump Trump, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide. Denim Dan, you can't hide. Denim Dan, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. We charge you with genocide. Rain or shine, trans is divine. Rain or shine, trans is divine. Rain or shine, trans is divine. Money for housing and HRT. Money for housing and HRT. Not the U.S. war machine. Not the U.S. war machine. From Castro to Palestine. Resistance is justified. Resistance is justified. Okay, period. Y'all sound like you got it. Yeah, yeah. Where's the microphone?
I'm gonna call on Marco Win back here on stage to share the upcoming events for QTOPI Week.
Thank you. So we have a week long of events. QTOPI Week started on Saturday, May 24th at the Chinatown Pride Procession and will end on June 1st. In the Castro at my Buhai Bitches Drag Brunch Show at Midnight Sun. I don't have them all off the top of my head, but the next couple ones, on Wednesday tomorrow, we're having a QTOPI Week karaoke at Level 2 with the Rose Pack Club, Asian American Club, and the Harvey Milk LGBTQ Democratic Club, and it's going to be from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Also, it's a Dollhouse. Check out the Dollhouse, QTOPI Dollhouse at Q Bar, probably around 11 p.m. with Mocha Fapa Latte hosting. That's all tomorrow, Wednesday. Then Thursday, after dark, the Exploratorium is hosting a beautiful presentation starting around 6:30 p.m. Check it out. All the events are available at qtapisf.org/events. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Michael Win. And may I encourage everyone to grab signs here from the steps. And also, we need volunteers who will hold the big banner here, the QTOPI Strong. And we will organize ourselves and start with our march. Grab those signs.